So I've heard rumblings of a new party, a splinter party being formed by Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib. This is something that people might want, and it could be backed by Elon Musk. What do we think about that? I've seen this news today that Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib could be considering putting together a party. Is that a good idea? Or do people think that, hold on, there's far too many right-wing parties anyway, it's just going to take people off in a direction from reform that we don't want, and then that just gives Starmer a clear run at the next election? I mean, there's a couple of things there. Obviously, Starmer's got his own problems. He's a very weak and effective leader. There's a lot of unfavourable policies as far as Labour supporters are concerned, although they are kind of drifting a little bit towards the centre with a lot of the stuff. But going back to this kind of thing, I think it was mooted by possibly Ben Habib, or not even kind of as a real kind of thing. It was more of an inkling in an interview that he did with somebody where it came out that he could be open to the idea. I mean, it would be, I think, a good idea to get all of the talent on the right side of the aisle assembled, as long as you can find the right person to marshal them. And the problem is, we know that Nigel Farage is not the guy. I don't think Ben Habib nor Rupert Lowe are either, to be quite honest. Ben Habib, whilst he has, again, a lot of very sensible things to say, speaks very well, is very well respected, and has been in the game for quite a long time, he has come out with a lot of very kind of low-level attacks on Nigel Farage that he didn't necessarily need to go to the level of. So I just don't know. I don't know whether he's the guy either. There are a lot of good people on the right. I really like Matt Goodwin, who I believe is with Reform, but he's got quite a strident view on immigration. So it'd be very interesting to see if he then now clashes with the HQ of Reform, because they clearly want to water things down, so I don't know whether his ideas will be accepted. But I think that the whole thing about Elon Musk and kind of him funding the party, on the face of it, that's great. You have, possibly potentially a multi-million pound donation, but it's going to come with strings, and you can't be naive of it. He is the kind of guy that he will drop you in it, friend or foe. He will go against you at a second's notice if you just say one wrong thing. I mean, he did that with Farage. He was all for Farage, and then he kind of dropped it. I'm not saying he was wrong. What I'm saying is that anybody getting into bed with Elon Musk has got to be very aware of the fact that the guy, changes like the wind with who he likes. If you're not completely on his side, then with the amount of power that he's been given by the American government right now, he now feels that he can pretty much say whatever he likes. I mean, we've seen that in his recent exchanges, even with like the Polish foreign minister, for example. So you've just got to be super careful. But is this a good idea for the right in general? Should everybody band together and get all of the good people that are sensible, reasonable, rational people, and choose someone that can lead them, who can get them into a room, assemble them, delegate, play to everybody's strengths, and even kind of corral them to a situation where they're not going to splinter apart. There are going to be clashes of egos, but you've got to get the right people with the right kind of knowledge and experience in certain fields. It could be done. You've just got to be very mindful that you would have to then go for voters who potentially, some of them may not vote or have dropped out of voting, because obviously turnout was super low last time. More disenfranchised people from Labour and the Conservatives, and you're going to have to just ignore the rest of everybody else and really just focus on a certain set of people, because let's face it, there are millions of untapped supporters out there, millions of people that possibly aren't registered or apathetic, don't think things can change, etc. But yeah, is it now time for a different kind of right-wing party? Something that is possibly a little bit more strident, a little bit more bold, a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more American style? Is that the way forward? Or should we just keep with Reform as they're an established entity and see what happens? Who knows?